Coming up on this edition of Inside Westwood, hear from the Westwood High School Athletic Director and the cross-country team captains. Also ahead, an update on the Westwood Public Schools with Emily Parrs, an interview with Nora Loughnane with information on town projects, and we spoke with Michael Gay about the OSRP committee. Stay with us. Hello and welcome to Inside Westwood. I'm your host, John Cummings. I'm coming to you from the studio at the Westwood Media Center. Inside Westwood is designed to update the Westwood community about what's going on, what just happened, or what's coming up. The fall sports season has come to an end and the cross-country team came out on top. Right now we're going to send it over to the Westwood High School Athletic Director, Matt Gillis, who is standing by with the team members. Matt?
Hi, John. How you doing today? Thank you very much for having us on the show. Today, I'm very proud to have our cross-country, a couple of our cross-country runners from each of the teams with us today. We had a tremendous season this year. Very proud of how both teams ran throughout the season in our league meets and in the state meets. What I'd like to do now is introduce on our girls' side, we have Sarah Conant and Ashley Walker.
I'm Ashley Walker.
I'm Sarah Conant.
And we kicked off our season this year by winning the Tri-Valley League meet. We came in first and second place, and our team did really well. This is our third win, being senior.
And it was my second one, but we also won the Division IV EMAS state meet, which was really fun. It was the first time in school history.
And then we moved on to the all-state meet where we came in fourth place.
And then we also won the Frank Kelly invite in October, which was fun.
And we just want to say a big thank you to our three amazing coaches and everyone on the team.
And now I'd like to kick it over to the boys team. I'd like to introduce Zach Conant and Chris Kelly.
Hi, I'm Zach Conant.
And I'm Chris.
And at the TVL meet, we came in third as a team, and I came in first.
At the state meet, Zach also placed very well, and I was a little bit behind him, but overall our team did very well.
At the all-state meet, I came in second place.
And I kind of want to mention our teams this year. We had a very strong team, and although it wasn't as strong as our team in previous years, we still did very well. And I want to mention our coach, Coach Lyons. He is the director of our coaching staff for Westwood Cross Country, and he overall did very well.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Cummings, for having us on the show. Very proud to have our cross-country teams with us here today. Very proud of what they did in their season and looking forward to this next winter season coming up.
Make sure to attend the winter sporting events and support our players. Keeping up with the school theme, I had an opportunity to sit down with Superintendent Emily Parrs, who had a tremendous amount of information on what was coming up on our public schools.
Yeah, great. Well, let me tell you, 2018, I think, is going to be an exciting year for us in Westwood. It is the year that we're going to be talking about the future of our school buildings. So you may have heard, we've been talking about what are we going to do about some of our elementary buildings that are aging. The Hanlon School and the Deerfield School were both built in the 1950s. The Sheehan School was built in the 40s. The physical buildings themselves are just old at this point. They're just getting to the point where we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do to address those needs going into the future. They aren't ADA compliant. That's really a problem for us as a school district. So we just got some really exciting news. We have been invited in to the process by the MSBA, that's the Massachusetts School Building Authority. So the MSBA, for those who are not familiar with it, is it's a state program where the state provides some portion of reimbursement to local communities to either build or renovate or repair aging school buildings. Now we're going to engage in a process with them where we get down to the specifics of what our needs are, examine all the possible solutions, think about what makes most sense for Westwood, both financially and in terms of our educational vision, and probably a year from now, we would have a much better sense of what the answer would be. You know, the school committee is very, very committed to making sure that we engage residents in this process. And for those of you who maybe have been to school committee meetings or watched them on Westwood Media Center, you know that we have a written community engagement plan that we are launching. The way we're thinking of this is that starting in January and over the next couple months, we're going to be making sure that we really inform residents about what the state of needed repairs is, you know, to make sure everyone understands kind of what the question is, that we're really thinking about what we're going to do for the class of 2030 and beyond. This is sort of a 50-year question, right? What do we want our school buildings to look like? So we're going to first make sure that everybody understands what the issues are, and then we want to engage people really in a conversation to figure out what's important to us. And so throughout the month of March, we're going to be hosting a series of community forums so we can hear from residents about what they value, you know, what their vision is for the schools and for education in the future. And we're going to collect all of that information and develop a set of criteria that we could use once we see what all the possible design options are.
With so many meetings, it's helpful to have a recap of different projects going on around town. Nora Loughnane, Director of our Community and Economic Development, stopped by to discuss everything from the University Station to the new police headquarters. Happy New Year, Nora, and thank you very much for coming down to our studio again. And how was your New Year's?
Great, great. Happy to be here. Thank you.
I can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming down and sharing all the knowledge with us. So could you start off with what's new at the University Station?
Yes, so we're still working on Del Frisco's, and it's getting very close. I know we had expected them to open in February. They're looking to open maybe even the end of January, so they're getting as close as they can be, and we're looking forward to having a new restaurant in town.
Yes, we are.
We are. Brigham and Women's Hospital office building is proceeding. They're still on target to open in the fall, hopefully in September, but definitely sometime in fall of 2018. And then the latest is Gables Residential has reached 94% occupancy.
Wow.
So of the 350 apartments there, they're 94% of those are occupied. They have 33 students so far. So we're expecting them to come in about 35 for that development as a whole, which is still well below what was predicted when the project was approved. There's a new residential development that's being proposed on the other side of the street. It's called the Hawthorne. And it's before the planning board tonight for a special permit hearing. So if anyone's interested in that, it's a 100-unit condominium development. It'll be spread in two 50-unit buildings with parking underneath as well as some visitor parking on the side. And anyone who's interested in hearing about that or has any points that they want the planning board to consider, they should come to the planning board meeting tonight at 7 p.m. at the Downey School. At the Downey tonight? And that's going to be right on University Ave? That is on University Ave between Bridges and the Brigham office building. Oh, so on the train station side of the street. Down. All right, so on the other end of the town, where the police station looks like it's wrapping up from as we drive by. It is, and they just got the go-ahead today for demolition of the old building, and it should take place, weather permitting, beginning next week, and it's about a 5 or 6 week process to take the building down. Will it deep freeze slow it down? A little bit, but it's been warming up this week, and if that stays on target, I'm sure we won't have 6 weeks of snow-free warm weather, but they should be able to move forward. We're expecting it to be completely down by the end of February, unless we have some incredible stormy weather, and then they'll begin site work to finish up, put a new parking area and landscaped areas in the spring. Oh, I can hardly wait for that to finish up. That'll be beautiful. And how are the roadway projects? We have a few in the works. One is the alterations to the intersection at Clabbertree and Washington Street. That project is going to be bid out this spring. The designs are complete, and they're expecting construction over the summer and fall of 2018. That will add a left turn lane coming down Clabbertree Street going towards Norwood. You'll be able to turn left with a dedicated lane going north on Route 1A, so north on Washington Street, up towards Roach Brothers. It should relieve some of the congestion and some of the backed up cars that are waiting to make that left turn. So that commuting rush in the morning by Severian? In the morning and in the afternoon by Severian. Hopefully this will help with that. So we're looking forward to that construction taking place in the summertime, continuing through the end of the year. Then there's a complete streets project that the Department of Public Works is working on High Street and the corner of North Street, and that will involve sidewalk improvements in the area of Blueberry along High Street. So we're looking forward to that one as well. And the other, I guess, roadway construction project is a design project on Gay Street. This was the subject of an article at town meeting, which was approved to fund design for new sidewalk or trail along Gay Street. So there'll be public meetings on that as the designs progress, and we're looking forward to seeing what the ideas are and what can be accomplished to tie the Washington Street and High Street areas of the town together.
Those meetings won't be for a month or two. They won't be this month.
I would say they would be no sooner than mid-spring.
Okay.
So the
March.
Designers will work on initial plans. They'll develop some concept options, and then it'll be brought to the public. So I would say later than March. I would say it's probably going to be April, May before we see anything there. But
Okay.
But
Well, stay tuned,
I
people.
won't. Yeah, Todd Korchin is working on that, so I don't
He's
know
doing a
the exact
fantastic job.
details. Yes, he is.
And I
Very
noticed that the
committed.
sidewalk snow blower, the new one, that's just amazing, clearing all the way down by the Hanlon. It was
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, all the school sidewalks were cleared, and
I wish you'd get the
that's-
bus stop at Cedar Hill and Gay Street.
Is that still a little bit snowy?
The guy keeps plowing it in. I'm out there with my little snowblower trying to dig them out. Which leads us right into Islington Center. How's that going?
So there's a lot going on in Islington Center. There's a hearing next week, the 16th, January 16th. The Planning Board has a public hearing on the Petruzziello application. That's the Islington Center redevelopment application. Many people have heard about it. It's for a private-public partnership that would involve 4 town-owned parcels and 4 privately owned parcels. And the hearing is scheduled for Tuesday night, the 16th, at the Downey School at 7 o'clock. So I encourage anyone who's interested in that project to come out and speak to the Planning Board about their concerns. So far, the project application calls for a mixed-use building where the ICC, the Islington Community Center, is now. That would have 18 condominium units above retail or some form of commercial use, maybe restaurant. It would also take the building where the CVS currently is, CVS and Crown Cleaners, and it would renovate that building for future commercial use on the first floor with a new basement space accessible from behind the building for MMO.
Oh, nice.
Where they would have brand new facilities designed specifically as a preschool facility, so everything sized accordingly. They're excited about that. And they would maintain the same agreement that they have with the town now for a single-year lease at a very reasonable price, and the developer would continue that arrangement in a brand new building. So
That's fantastic.
A win-win.
Looking up and up every time I drive through Islington
Yes.
with a new fire station and all the buildings on both sides.
It's an exciting project if
Yeah.
we can get everything to all the pieces to fit together. There would also be a brand new CVS building, so CVS will leave the old building, move to a new building on the corner of Washington Street and School Street. The Blue Heart Tavern would be renovated, maintained by the developer, probably for residential use. We're hoping that it would be located close to where it is now on School Street. That'll be discussed by the Planning Board.
Right now, it's just in the parking lot.
It's in the parking lot of the Taylor. So we're hoping it would be that the Taylor shop and the Cafe Diva building would be demolished, and CVS would be up at the corner, and we're hoping there would be room for the Blue Heart Tavern to maintain a place on School Street.
Would they have a drive-through for that CVS?
There will be no drive-through, so that's been negotiated out of the plans. And the hope is that the Blue Heart Tavern would serve as a great buffer between the commercial portion of the neighborhood and the residential portion. And then the Wentworth Hall, the library building, would be relocated from the side of the street it's on now, on the east side, to the west side. So it would be where the municipal lot is now. We'd have parking behind it and around it. It would be renovated. It would have a brand new community space in the basement and an elevator, so it'd be handicapped accessible.
Oh, nice. And that
So
would still be the library.
It would still be the Islington Branch Library with additional space and a new version of the library, so it would be fully renovated. So that's the plan. There's a lot still to be discussed.
As long as everything lines up, it sounds like a win-win.
I think it would be. I think it would really improve that area and maintain the neighborhood feel with just some nicer, more functional, better accessible buildings.
And all right, so that leads us to the open space recreational plan.
That's
How's
something
that?
we're working on right now. We have an open space recreational planning committee that has met. It met in December and it just met again last week. And they are holding a public visioning session on February 1st. So we're encouraging residents who have interest either in open space or recreation, if they want to talk about our recreation facilities, our recreation programs, if they want to talk about purchasing or restricting more open space so it doesn't get developed in town, this is the time for them to come out and have their voices heard. Our last open space and recreation plan was approved in 2000. After the plan is approved, it's sent to the state for further approval, and once we have an approved plan in place, we're eligible for state grants. So it's something we're very excited about. We're working hard to get this plan updated. It's 18 years old now, and it's time to update the plan.
And you just asked everybody for input via the email and also at the town hall?
Right.
How did that come out?
We had a survey that went out. It was open from fall town meeting in November through January 1st. We received over 600 responses.
Wow.
Very interesting information we received from that. The responses will be posted to the website in the next month, and then we're asking people, especially people who didn't complete that survey, who are interested in coming to the visioning session, to come and talk about open space, recreation, any concerns they have. We want to hear from them what they like about our facilities and what they think needs improvement.
All right, so February 1st is your last chance to
It's the next opportunity, the next big opportunity. So the planning process will continue for the next couple of months, but what we hear at the visioning session will absolutely shape the plan going forward.
So if you wanted a sports kind of complex, this would be your...
Now's the time to talk about
February 1st is it, or you had your opportunity?
Correct.
And that's going to February 1st, and where is it?
That will be at the Thurston Middle School at 7 p.m.
Okay.
And everyone is welcome to attend.
I think we've gone all the way through town. Now, is there anything else that the viewers might be interested in?
There's nothing else that comes to mind right now, but I'm happy to answer any questions that people have. So if you hear about anything, let me know, and I'll be here next time.
So if the audience has any questions they want, they can email us here at the Westwood Media Center. You could always email Nora, and we'll be setting up a web page for the Inside Westwood very shortly. Well, Nora, thank you very much for coming down. That was very informative, and thank you for being so busy.
Thank you for having me.
Recently, a new committee was formed called the Open Space and Recreational Planning Committee, or OSRP. The purpose of forming this committee is to update the town's original OSRP plan for approval of the Massachusetts Division of Conservation Services. An updated OSRP will serve two primary purposes. It will provide a document to guide future town decisions pertaining to open space and recreation, and it will help the town gain eligibility for grants that can be used to purchase open space and develop recreational facilities. Mike Gay sat down with me to discuss the first two meetings of the committee and what the committee should expect in the future. Hey Mike, how are you? Thank you very much for coming down. I know you're really busy. You're on a number of different committees, and the newest one right now is the OSRP committee. Could you tell us how come they started up the OSRP and what the plan is?
Yeah, so John, like yourself, involved in a number of committees in town. The Open Space and Recreation Planning Committee was reestablished middle of last year, and the primary goal was to effectively rewrite our OSRP plan for the town. It's a critical step that will then help in creating our overall plan for the town. And it's also important because we want to qualify for federal and state grants, and we need an up-to-date OSRP plan. So the latest OSRP plan was in year 2000. There was an attempt in 2010 to rewrite this plan, but it fell short. So Nora Loughnane created this committee. There are a number of different individuals from the different groups within town. There's a few of the youth sports programs represented, and that was where I was invited to the committee. There are a number of other groups within town as well. So it's a really strong mix of individuals, and they always say if you want something done, ask a busy person. I look around that table and I don't know how these people find the time.
That's a fantastic table.
Yeah, it sure is. Lots of knowledge in Westwood.
So let me ask you, when it comes to this committee, do you, aside from people coming from all the different boards and committee members, do you take input from the public?
We do. In fact, that's one of the reasons we're here talking with you today.
Oh, that's nice. What a cue.
Nice segue. So there were a couple of things that we were doing with respect to public feedback. One was a survey that was sent out by the town in November, and it went through early December. And that survey was responded to by about 621 residents.
That's a great response.
It was a phenomenal turnout. And there were a series of questions that talked about, again, open space, fields and parks, playgrounds, et cetera. But also recreation facilities, even internal. So we say the Open Space and Recreation Committee, a lot of people think that that's just outdoors, but it's also indoor facilities. So gyms, basketball, hockey, et cetera. Yeah. And so, in the 2000 plan, I think the town really took it more as an outside and outdoor plan. So a lot of the goals really were reflective of more of the open space and the
like
recreation.
The new soccer fields that they built up at the Thurston Middle School.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So again, the reason we're here is the second piece of that is basically a community workshop envisioning session. That date, and this is really important for everybody watching, is February 1st. It's going to be at Thurston Middle School in the cafeteria. It'll be a workshop setting, so there'll be moderators and myself as one of the committee members will be managing one of the tables, and we'll have as many tables as necessary. So we really hope that people get out to voice their opinions. The feedback that we got from the surveys as well as the workshop will help us form ultimately the proposed plan for the town. So we're working with a consultant that's doing a great job, J.M. Goldson, and they're going to help lead that night on the 1st.
Nice. So if people miss let's say they're too busy before the holidays, this is their last opportunity to come in person and talk to the committee that's forming the OSRP. Yep,
it sure is. And I think it's also really important to understand, again, I mentioned that I was invited to this committee because of my youth sports involvement. When I got involved in the committee, I realized everything is critical to myself and my family. The open space, there's fascinating topics that we're discussing, really important to the town and to the viability of...
Do you want to share any of those with us? Or?
Well, you know what, actually, what we want people to come to the workshop with somewhat of an open mind. What I'll say, though, is that if you come thinking that you just, you've got a child in the elementary school or you're really focused on the recreation side of things, try to stay for the whole event. We're going to break it out into 2 halves. We will be doing the recreation discussion to start, and then followed by some of the open space discussions. But it's really important to try to get a sitter or figure out a way to be there for the whole night because, again, even if you think that you're fairly focused on one area, it's really important to the town that you give your input across the board.
Well, thank you very much. And then once again, that's on February 1st?
It is. February 1st, we're going to have registration will open at 6:45, so you can pre-register as well, and you can go to the town site, and we'll put it up on the screen here to pre-register. That helps the group kind of understand and plan. We're going to have some refreshments and those kind of things. If you pre-register, you'll have a name tag waiting for you. If you don't, we'll give you one at the night of the event.
Well, that's fantastic. Good luck, and thank you very much for doing all that you do.
Thank you very much. We'll see you around.
Make sure to attend the OSRP Visioning Session on Thursday, February 1st at 7 p.m. at the Thurston Middle School cafeteria. Here are just a few events that are coming up soon. Any senior interested in an 8-day road trip through Sedona, Grand Canyons, Las Vegas should attend the informational session on February 12th at 11 a.m. at the COA. At the COA, you can meet our local author, Lynn Vitti, on February 5th at 11 a.m. to hear her program of poetry. The I Am Strong Foundation and the COA are partnering up once again to write messages of hope. These handwritten cards are developed to those suffering from mental health issues. This card writing event will be held on Sunday, February 11th at 1 p.m. If you're looking for an activity for your Westwood student, 10 years or older, during the February break, check out the Lego Animation Workshop being held right here at the Westwood Media Center. This is being held through the Westwood Rec Department. Sign up now, space is limited. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Inside Westwood. Be sure and check out our interactive community calendar on our homepage at westwoodmediacenter.tv. The link for the calendar is at the top. All you have to do is click the tab and you're there. Thank you and Godspeed.